Sir, we can start now. 1 more minute, sir. Let me just share. Sir, we can start.
Hari Om, Namaste to all. Prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru, Swami Virajeshwara Saraswati, and the entire Guru Parampara, on behalf of all of us, today's discourse will commence on Viveka Chudamani. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashtakruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva-Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. We had stopped last time the shloka number, verse number 245 in Viveka Chudamani. So from 246th shloka onwards, today's discourse will continue. We have to remember very attentively one point here, that Sri Shankar Bhagavat Pada has started now explaining exhaustive, detailed commentary on the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi already has started. Now, the exposition on the Tattvamasi Mahavakya by Acharya now continues still further at the higher level. So, at the outset, I request all my Guru Bandhus to bear with me if I go somewhere wrong, trying to explain what Acharya says and what is a bhashya on this Vivek Chudamani by Jagat Guru Sri Chandrasekhar Bharati Mahaswami. You have to bear with me. Last time, Acharya had just started explaining how the two words, Tat and Tvam, actually mean ultimately the unity, the total absolute oneness between the Jiva and the Paramatma. Tat Tvam Asi. You are that only. You means here the individualized, the Jiva or Jiva, the person in which the individual human entity in which the Jiva is there is called Jiva in literal sense, colloquial, material sense, worldly sense. We are called Jivas. And that is referred by Tvam. Tat means that absolute reality. That absolute means, in simple words, Ishwar, Paramatma, God. So, Tat Tvam Asi or Tvam Tat Asi, if you take it like that, you are nothing but God only. That is what he is Acharya has started explaining to his qualified Uttamadhikari, the disciple, sitting in front of him. It is a direct Upanishad Upadesha being given by Acharya. What is there in the Upanishad? Last time it was told in a Chandogya Upanishad. This famous Mahavakya Tattvamasi is introduced by Uddalaka Maharshi while explaining intricacies of the utmost secret knowledge of Jnana to his son Shvetaketu. And Acharya says, by proper discriminate reasoning, by total reasoning, supported by the Upanishad Mahavakyas, this has to be correctly, precisely, without any iota of doubt, this Mahavakya to be understood. The entire purpose of the human birth, as Upanishads declare vehemently again and again, here and there, the main purpose of this life as individual entity we are born is to really know the reality. Who am I? So the entire purpose of the life itself is to understand that reality. As Upanishads keep explaining, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. Whole thing indeed is that Parabrahma Vastu, that Nirakara, Nirvishesha, Nirvikalpa, Niranjana, Nishkala, all in all, absolute, unmanifest reality. The whole thing is nothing but the reality. The same reality that Nirakara Tattva exhibits itself, appears as though in different forms and names, as the universe, as the world, as the entities. So we all live in this duality mode. That is because of the effect of the Maya itself. The Maya with the three gunas, Rajas, Sattva and Tamas, all the three gunas interplay in such a way that the whole universe is created out of it. It's a great illusion. This world itself is a great illusion, as Upanishads declare. Same thing now Acharya continues to explain. ತತ್ವಮಸಿ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯದ ವಿವರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀನು ಅದೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀಯಪ್ಪ, ನೀನು ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಸ್ವರೂಪನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀಯ, ನೀನು ಬೇರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಬೇರೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಒಳ ಅರ್ಥ, ಒಳನೋಟ ತತ್ವಮಸಿ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕ, ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೇದಂ ಕಲ್ಪಿತತ್ವಾತ್ ನ ಸತ್ಯಂ ರಜ್ಜು ದ್ರಷ್ಟವ್ಯಾಲವತ್ ಸ್ವಪ್ನವಚ್ಚ ಇತ್ತಂ ದೃಶ್ಯಂ ಸಾಧುಯುಕ್ತ ವ್ಯಪೋಹ್ಯ ಜ್ಞೇಯಃ ಪಶ್ಚಾತ್ ಏಕಭಾವಸ್ತಯೋರ್ಯಃ. ನೇದಂ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನ ಇದಂ. ನೇದಂ ಕಲ್ಪಿತತ್ವಾತ್ ನ ಸತ್ಯಂ ರಜ್ಜುದೃಷ್ಟ ವ್ಯಾಲವತ್ ಸ್ವಪ್ನವಚ್ಚ ಇತ್ತಂ ದೃಶ್ಯಂ ಸಾಧುಯುಕ್ತ್ಯಾ ವ್ಯಪೋಹ್ಯ ಯಜ್ಞೇಯಃ ಪಶ್ಚಾತ್ ಏಕಭಾವಸ್ತಯೋರ್ಯಃ. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ನ ಇದಂ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಶಬ್ದಗಳನ್ನ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನ ಇದಂ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ, ಪರವಸ್ತು, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಮಾಯೆಯ ಕಾರಣಗಳು, ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ನ ಇದಂ, ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕಾರಣವಾದಂತಹ ಮಾಯೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನ ಇದಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಎರಡನೇ ಪದದಲ್ಲಿ ನ ಇದಂ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪಂಚಕೋಶಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ದೇಹ, ಸೊ ಈ ಮಾಯೆ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಪಂಚಕೋಶಗಳಿಂದ ಆವೃತವಾಗಿರೋ ದೇಹ, ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ದೇಹ, ಈ ಶರೀರ ಅಂತ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೇವಲ ಭ್ರಮೆ, ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಾವು ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲವೋ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ನೋಡುವ ಕನಸು ಎಚ್ಚರ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದು ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ, ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೋ, ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ಮಾಯೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಲಿ, ಪಂಚ ಕೋಶಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರೋ ಈ ದೇಹ ಆಗಲಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಹ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರ, ಇದು ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಅಹಂಕಾರ, ಅಂತಃಕರಣಗಳನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಇವು ಯಾವುದು ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸತ್ಯವಲ್ಲ. ಇತ್ತಂ ದೃಶ್ಯಂ ಸಾಧು ಯುಕ್ತಿಯ ವ್ಯಪೋಹಿತ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈಗ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಗೋಚರವಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಪಂಚ ಕೋಶಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರೋ ಈ ದೇಹ, ಈ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ದೇಹ, ಈ ಶರೀರ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನ ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಇವು ಎಲ್ಲಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏಕರಸವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಏಕಭಾವವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಚಿದ್ ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೀವ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಐಕ್ಯವನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ನ ಇದಂ ನ ಇದಂ. ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೂ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ನೇದಂ ನೇದಂ ಕಲ್ಪಿತತ್ವಾತ್ ನ ಸತ್ಯಂ. ಸೊ ನ ಇದಂ, ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ word refers to this entire illusory Maya, the illusory potency of the God called Maya, which is responsible for creation, Srishti. The second na idam means this body, this physical body made up of 5 sheets. So the jiva covered by 5 sheets. So even this entity called human body, or the whole Srishti or the creation, due to Maya, they are unreal. They are not real. Both have to be eliminated, because just like he says, Acharya says, Rajju Drashta Vyalavat Swapnavacha. Just like the snake, what we imagined in the rope while looking from a distance. Please remember Rajju Sarpanya. We thought it was a snake. Actually, it is not a snake, it is rope only. So, just like the snake appeared in the rope is not real. Just like Swapnavatcha, even the dreams where we think while dreaming it is real, but ultimately we know that when we get up, it is not real. After all, it was only a dream. So, just like the dreams, just like the snake appeared in the rope because of delusion, this jiva covered by 5 koshas, pancha koshas, and the srishti due to Maya, due to the effect of the Maya, they have to be totally discarded in order to understand correctly the oneness of the jiva with the Ishvara, Paramatma. So to understand, to experience the oneness, ekabhavastayoryaha jneyah. So we have to look, my dear disciple, by discarding these two, ultimately you must understand and follow and experience firsthand that the jiva and Ishvara, Paramatma, they are one and the same. One and the same. Then he continues, Acharya continues. Tatastu tau lakshanaya sulakshyau tayorakhandaika rasatva siddhaye nalam jahatya na tata ajahatya kintu ubayarthatmikaiva bhavyam. Kintu ubayartikatmikaya eva bhavyam. Tatastu tau lakshanaya sulakshyau tayorakhandaika rasatva siddhaye Nalam jahatya.
Sir, you're on mute, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Now it is good, sir. Thank you.
So the third charana is so interesting. Nalam jahatya na tatha ajahatya means nalam actually the simplest meaning of the word na alam means it is not possible. So nalam, it is not possible. By what? Jahatya nalam. By jahat lakshana, this sentence tattvamasi cannot be understood. Nalam jahatya na tatha ajahatya. Even by ajahatya lakshana also the purport of the sentence, the meaning of the sentence tattvamasi cannot be understood. See, this is a very interesting injunction here made by Acharya while explaining the purport of the meaning tattvamasi. Now he is introducing these words, very difficult to understand. We'll come to that. So what he says, Acharya here, Tataha tuta tatastu tau tataha tu tau lakshanaya sulakshayu tayorakhandaika rasatva siddhaye. So what Acharya says here, only by the meaning of the word tat and tvam can be understood by the implied meaning in order to the coded meaning, implied meaning, in order to bring in the oneness between the two words tat and tvam, in order to bring in the absolute oneness, absolute identity between tat and tvam, the implied meaning of the two words tat and tvam should be understood by lakshanas, lakshana shastra, figurative speech as it is called in Sanskritam. Not by the literal meaning, but we have to go deeper into the implied meaning. So he says, this understanding, tat and tvam are one and the same, this cannot be done by jahat lakshana. Even this cannot be explained by opposite ajahat lakshana. It can be explained only by the combination of the two, jahat and ajahat. Jahat, ajahat lakshana, it is also called bhaga lakshana by Acharya later in the other references. ಸೊ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತತ್ ಮತ್ತು ತ್ವಂ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ತತ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು, ತ್ವಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನು. ಇವುಗಳ ಏಕತ್ವ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಮೇಲ್ನೋಟದ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕೇ ಹೊರತು ಒಳನೋಟವನ್ನ ಬರೀ ಮೇಲಿನ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ, ಮೇಲಿನ ನೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆಯಿಂದನೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆಯಿಂದಲೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವು ಎರಡರ ಸೇರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗಿರೋ ಮೂರನೇ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆಯಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಜಹಾತ್ ಅಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಅದನ್ನು, ಅಥವಾ ಅದನ್ನ ಭಾಗ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ವೇದಾಂತದ, ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ now the confusion sets in. Now Acharya is using the two terms, very interesting. Unless we understand that correctly, in Vedanta, why things become very dry, very difficult is we don't go into the deep. Elsewhere in his treatise, other treatise, Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada, in another small Prakarana Grantha called Swatma Nirupana, and also elsewhere in his own another treatise, another small Prakarana Grantha called Vakya Vritti. In both Swatma Nirupana and Vakya Vritti, Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada is kind enough to explain what is this Lakshana, this figurative speech, the phrase used in Sanskrit, to explain the hidden meaning, not the literal meaning. So there's so many words are used. There he explains. Now we have to understand this correctly first. ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಾತ್ಮ ನಿರೂಪಣ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಕ್ಯ ವೃತ್ತಿ ಈ ಪ್ರಕರಣ ಗ್ರಂಥಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ ಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಅಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ದಿ ಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಜಹಾದ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ or Jahal Lakshana, these are the words. Jahat Lakshana combined together forms Jahal Lakshana. What does it mean? By an example Acharya gives there, he explains that. Now, there is a sentence while during conversation, one person with the another person, how he converses, he uses some figurative speech to explain some implied meaning. Let us say, Gangayam Ghoshaha, a sentence in Sanskrit. One person tells the other, Gangayam Ghoshaha, means a small village, a hamlet, is in the Ganga river. Gangayam Ghoshaha literally means a village or a hamlet in the river. Now, if you take the literal meaning here, what happens? If you take the literal meaning, can any, forget the village, can any house or a small hut, can it sustain on the water medium, flowing Ganga water? No. Anybody's common sense. So Gangayam Ghoshaha means the person who is saying like that means that the village is on the banks of Ganga river, not in the Ganga river, not in the flowing water, on the banks. So that is the implied meaning. So the literal meaning is called Vachyartha. The implied inner meaning is called Lakshyartha. So what is Jahat Lakshana? We have to give up the literal meaning completely, accept or observe only the inner implied meaning. So we have to give up the Vachyartha and concentrate on the Lakshyartha, that is Jahal Lakshana. The outer literal meaning is rejected. Jahal Lakshana. ಗಂಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಥಾರ್ಥವಾಗಿ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಇರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ? ವಾಚ್ಯಾರ್ಥ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಯಥಾರ್ಥವಾಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಗಂಗೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಿತ್ರ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಂಗಾ ತೀರದ ಹತ್ರ ಆ ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಇದೆ ಎಂದು ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಜಹಲ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ. ವಾಚ್ಯಾರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಲಕ್ಷಾರ್ಥದ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. Then Acharya explains in Laguvakya Vritti what is the opposite. Ajahat Lakshana, Ajahat Lakshana, Ajahal Lakshana, both are the same. You can call it as Ajahal Lakshana or Ajahat Lakshana. Ajahat, opposite to Jahat. What is this here? In Ajahat Lakshana figurative speech, we have to retain the one part of the literal meaning. But it is not complete. It won't give you the actual meaning at all. So by retaining the literal meaning, we have to find the inner meaning. See, this is Ajahat Lakshana. Ajahat Lakshana. Jahat Lakshanಕ್ಕೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾದಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಲಕ್ಷಣ. ಪದಪ್ರಯೋಗ, ಪದಗಳ ಗುಚ್ಛ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ, ಪದ ಸಮುಚ್ಚಯ ಪ್ರಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರು. ಈ ಅಜಹಾತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಮೇಲ್ನೋಟದ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಆದರೆ ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹುಡುಕಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಒಳ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಅಜಹತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯೋಗ. Now the Acharya gives the example at that time. See, these examples are given 1200 years before. We can correlate even today in our day-to-day life by other examples. It's only figurative, the way you speak. The way you speak, ultimately. You know, we say something, but the meaning is different, correct? So what is Ajahat Lakshana? See, one friend tells the other fellow, say for example, one fellow tells the other fellow, look out there, look out there. The red is running fast. The red is running fast. The red is running very fast, galloping. It won't give any meaning to us. The color red cannot run, cannot gallop. We all know that. So the other fellow immediately understands the implied meaning, because he thinks, he knows that the person who says, look, red is running, means he is referring to the bunch of horses in front of them, maybe in the running race, horse running race, or in the wild, in the countryside, whatever it may be. So they are observing the group of horses running. Out of that, this person is pointing his finger to the red colored horse, which is running very fast in front of all other horses. It has taken over. So the red colored horse is running very fast. So he says, red is running fast. So the other person immediately understands. So he is referring to the horse, which is red in color. So Ajahat ಲಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ವಾಚ್ಯಾರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಯಾರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಬ್ರು ಮಿತ್ರರು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಒಬ್ಬನು ಕೈ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನೋಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಂಪು 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 ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಹಳ ವೇಗವಾಗಿ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕೆಂಪು ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೇನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಬೇರೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಮಿತ್ರನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ತಮ್ಮ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಕುದುರೆಗಳು ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಒಂದರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಗುಂಪು. ಆ ಗುಂಪಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತ ಆ ಕೆಂಪು ಕುದುರೆ ಕಡೆ ಬೊಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ನೋಡು ಆ ಕೆಂಪು ಕುದುರೆ, ಕೆಂಪು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಕೆಂಪು ಕುದುರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನೋಡು ಆ ಕೆಂಪು ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು, ಓ ಆ ಕೆಂಪು ಬಣ್ಣದ ಕುದುರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕುದುರೆಗಳಿಗಿಂತ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ವೇಗವಾಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಅಜಹಲ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ. The point is, see, these are all figurative speeches. Acharya is using them. So tat tvam asi should be understood in that constant, reference. You cannot apply Jahat Lakshana to understand Tat Tvamasi, Tattvamasi. You are that. You cannot apply Ajahat Lakshana also to understand Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. So by both figurative speeches, you cannot understand. the correct inner purport, precise purport of the meaning Tattvamasi. You are that only. Cannot be understood. It means what ultimately? In simple words, Acharya is talking at the highest level using the language of Sanskritam to teach the highly qualified disciple from all angles the correct inner meaning of Tattvamasi, so that the disciple should understand what exactly the Acharya is hinting at. That is the main point. So that's what Acharya says in the shloka ultimately here. Nalam jahatya na tatha ajahatya kintu ubayartatmika yaiva bhavyam. So Acharya says here, you have to combine jahat lakshana plus ajahat lakshana, both. So the phrase Tattvamasi is a combination of jahat and ajahat lakshana. Jahat, ajahat lakshana combined. So the phrase Tattvamasi is a combination of jahat, ajahat lakshana, or in simple it is called bhaga lakshana. So the phrase Tattvamasi ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ವಿವರಿಸಬಹುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ತನ್ನ ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಭಾಗಲಕ್ಷಣೆಯ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಕಾರ. ಆ ಪ್ರಾಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ವಿವೇಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಜಹಾತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆಯೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಜಹಾತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎರಡೂ ಸೇರಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಜಹಾತ್ ಅಜಹಾತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನ ಭಾಗಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬಹುದು. ತತ್ವಮಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಭಾಗಲಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್? Now the question comes, now what is that Acharya is telling us? Neither it is jahat lakshana nor ajahat lakshana, it is a combination of both. Combination of both, he says. What is that? Now that Acharya takes up the next shloka where he explains. Before that, one point to remember, in the next shloka what Acharya explains Tattvamasi with the Bhaga Lakshana, we have to remember, so this is done neither by the total rejection of the literal meaning nor by the total non-rejection of the literal meaning, but the combining both jahat and ajahat lakshana. Now the next shloka where Acharya makes it very clear, I think, very, very clear. What is that? Next two shlokas go together for the meaning to be completely understood. So we will take one by one. ಮುಂದಿನ ಎರಡು ಶ್ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಇದನ್ನು ಬಹಳ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸದೇವದತ್ತೋ ಅಯಮಿತಿ ವೈಕತ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾಂಶಂ ಅಪಾಸ್ಯ ಕಥ್ಯತೆ ಯಥಾ ತಥಾ ತತ್ವಮಸೀತಿ ವಾಕ್ಯೇ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾನ್ ಉಭಯತ್ರಹಿತ್ವಾ. ಸದೇವದತ್ತೋ ಅಯಮಿತಿ ವೈಕತ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾಂಶಂ ಅಪಾಸ್ಯ ಕಥ್ಯತೆ ಯಥಾ ತಥಾ ತತ್ವಮಸೀತಿ ವಾಕ್ಯೇ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾನ್ ಉಭಯತ್ರ ಹಿತ್ವಾ. ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಬಹಳ ಸರಳವಾದ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಆ ದೇವದತ್ತ ಇವನೇ ಕಣಯ್ಯ, ಆ ಅಂದು ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ ಆ ದೇವದತ್ತ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಇವನೇ ಕಣಪ್ಪ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಾಕ್ಯ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನ, ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮದ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಇರೋದು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಇರೋದು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ನೀನು ಅದು ಆಗಿದ್ದೀ ಎನ್ನುವ ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ನೀನು ಮತ್ತು ಅದು, ನೀನು ಅದೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀಯೇ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಮತ್ತು ನೀನು ಇವುಗಳ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನ ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಉಳಿಯೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು, ಉಳಿಯೋದು ಒಂದೇ. ಇದು ಭಾಗಲಕ್ಷಣ, ಜಹಾತ್ ಅಜಹಾತ್ ಲಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಕೆ ಉದಾಹರಣೆ. ತತ್ವಮಸಿ ವಾಕ್ಯ, ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ನೌ ದ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ the example of Bhaga Lakshana or Jahat Ajahat Lakshana by this famous example. Sadevadatto ayam itiha va ekata viruddha dharmamsham apasya kathyate yatha. Sadevadattah ayam iti iha va viruddha dharmamsham apasya yatha kathyate. We have to take it like that. So, this is a famous sentence in Vedanta used by Acharya. Please, we have to go into the details. That's why you'll understand it very clearly. See, two friends, they are talking to each other. And they observe another person in a distance walking. And immediately after seeing that third person, this one friend tells the other friend, look, look, look. Who is that person going there? Look at the person going there, walking there. He is the same Devadatta. He is the same man called Devadatta. What we had seen some 10, 15 years back, 20 years back, or 5 years back in Kashi Nagari. Look, he is the same Devadatta whom we had seen earlier in Kashi, in Varanasi, a few years back. Look, he is the same. Why does he say like that? The purport of the sentence, you go through that. Ayam Sahadevadattah iti sentence. This person whom we are seeing now is the same person called Devadatta whom we had seen earlier in Kashi, in Varanasi, long back. So in this sentence, now Acharya takes up only this sentence. He doesn't go into the story. Now look at the sentence he says. Now the person, the man named as Devadatta was seen in Kashi a few years back, a different place at a different time. Place and time different. He was wearing some beautiful dress. His makeup was different. He appeared to be a very wealthy person by his appearance, by his dress. Now the same person is appearing in front of us here in our town, in our city, in our village. Now he appears different, not the wealthy person. Look at his clothes. They're shabby clothes. He looks a very ordinary person. But no mistake. This person, now what we are seeing here at this time, in this place, is the same Devadatta whom we had seen earlier in Kashi. So the implied meaning here is what? Now, if you remove the time frame and place also, if you avoid and remove and completely remove everything, one thing remains correct. What is that? The person called Devadatta who appeared in Kashi, the same person appeared here in front of us. His dress was different then. His status was different then. Now his status is different. Dresses are different. But we recognize he is the same man. He is the same man called Devadatta. Tatha tattvamasiti vakye viruddha dharman ubhayatra hitva. Hitva means in the same way. Tatha, in the same way. Hitva means give up, remove. ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹಿಂದೆ ನೋಡಿದ, ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ನೋಡಿದ, ಕಾಶಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ ಅದೇ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಅವನೇ ದೇವದತ್ತ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಎದುರು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ತತ್ವಮಸಿ ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಉಳಿಯೋದು ಒಂದೇ ವಸ್ತು. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ತಥಾ ತತ್ವಮಸಿ ಇತಿ ವಾಕ್ಯೆ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮಾನ್ ಉಭಯತ್ರ ಹಿತ್ವಾ. ಹಿತ್ವಾ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ if you give up the opposite characters, if you give up the opposed qualities, viruddha dharmamsha, if you take away the opposed qualities or opposite characters between jiva, individual entity, and Ishvara, Paramatma, Sarvajna. So he is God himself. He is Paramatma himself. He is Ishvara. And here is a human entity. So if you remove these opposite characters, opposite guna lakshanas, the opposed qualities, you say he is a man with limited knowledge. He is a man called mortal. He is born, he is going to die. How can he be equal to God? God is immortal. God is perfect. God has no birth and no death. He is always eternal. So if you remove all such the opposed qualities, remove the qualities, what remains? The essence, the core essence in the human body, that is Atma, Parama Chaitanya, and the core essence in Paramatma, Ishvara, same, Atma or Parama Chaitanya, Vishwa. They are one and the same. There is no difference. If you remove the Upadhi of Ishvara, the superimpositions and limitations, outer limitations. If you remove the upadhis of jiva, what remains? There is neither jiva nor Ishvara. Only one. What is that? Sadvastu. Sadvastu only remains. That is Atmavastu only remains. That is Parama Chaitanya only remains. That is also supreme consciousness. Here also inside supreme consciousness. There is a Parama Chaitanya there. Here also inside Parama Chaitanya. So the Chidvastu, Chinmatra Vastu, Akhanda Vastu, only one remains. If you remove the Upadhis, if you remove the opposed qualities between Jiva and Paramatma. That is the example Acharya is giving here. Sa Devadatta ayamitiha va ekata viruddha dharmamsham apasya kathyate. Yatha Tatha tattvamasi iti vakye viruddha dharman ubhayatra hitva. So if you remove the opposed qualities between Jiva and Ishvara, next shloka he clarifies. Acharya. ಮುಂದಿನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿವರಣೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸಂಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರತಯ ಸದಾತ್ಮನೋ ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾವಃ ಪರಿಚೀಯತೆ ಬುಧೈಃ ಏವಂ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯಶತೇನ ಕಥ್ಯತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮನೋ ಐಕ್ಯಂ ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾವಃ. Now Acharya concludes this point here in this shloka. ಸಂಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರತಯ ಸದಾತ್ಮನೋ ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾವಃ ಪರಿಚೀಯತೆ ಬುಧೈಃ ಏವಂ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯಶತೇನ ಕಥ್ಯತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮನೋ ಐಕ್ಯಂ ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾವಃ. ಬುಧೈಃ ಪರಿಚೀಯತೆ, key word in the shloka, second charana. Akhanda bhavaha parichiyate budhaihi. Budhaihi means the jnanis, the wise, the knowers of the truth, the seers, the realized masters. So budhaihi parichiyate. This point is grasped by the great masters, great realized mahatmans, paramajnanis, the sages. They realize this point. Which point? Samlaksha Chinmatrataya Sadatmano Akanda Bhavaha. So the Chinmatra Swarupa, the Akhanda Ekatva Swarupa, Brahma Atma Ekatva Bhava, that is grasped very precisely by only the wise one, the knowers of the truth, the Brahmajnanis, knowers of the Brahma, Samadarshis, Tattvadarshis, Udhai, all these mean the same thing. So the wise, the jnanis, the realized masters, only they can understand the total only they will realize. Only they will realize. Not a common man, not the ordinary person. That is the point here to understand. Samlaksha Chinmatrataya Sadatmano Akanda Bhavaha Parichiyate Budhaihi. Buddha means jnani, learned, wise, Brahmajnani, realized masters. They will understand the purport of the meaning of the word Tattvamasi. ಮಹಾತ್ಮರಿಂದ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಿಂದ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳಿಂದ ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚಿತ್ ಶಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಚಿದ್ರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಏಕರಸವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಆತ್ಮ ಎರಡೂ ಒಂದೇ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ, ಜೀವಾತ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಒಂದೇ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವವನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾನಿಗಳು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗ್ರಹಣ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಏವಂ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯ ಶತೇನ ಕಥ್ಯತೆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾತ್ಮನೋ ಐಕ್ಯಂ ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾವಃ. So Acharya says finally in this shloka, Evam mahavakya shatena kathyate brahmatmano aikyam akhanda bhavaha. ಈ ಪ್ರಕಾರವಾಗಿ ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಶ್ರುತಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೂರಾರು ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳು ಆತ್ಮ ಮತ್ತು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಇವುಗಳ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಮತ್ತು ಏಕತೆ, ಏಕಭಾವ, ಅಖಂಡ ಏಕತ್ವ ಭಾವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೂರಾರು ಶ್ರುತಿಗಳು ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯಗಳು ಬಂದಿವೆ, ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿವೆ ಅಂತ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಜೀವ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಇವುಗಳ ಐಕ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೂರಾರು ವಾಕ್ಯಗಳು ಉಪನಿಷತ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆ. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ there are hundreds of such mahavakyas, vachanas, mantras in Upanishads, in Shrutis, which denote the oneness, the absolute oneness between Jiva and Paramatma. That is the point to remember. So now Acharya continues. Astolamityetad asat nirasya siddham swato vyomavat apratarkyam ato mrusha matramidam pratitam jahihi yat swatmataya grahitam. Now he says to his disciple, look, astolamityet asat nirasya siddham swato vyomavat pratarkyam ato mrusha matramidam pratitam jahihi yat swatmataya grahitam. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ನೀನು ಈ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಸತ್ ಸ್ವರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ದೇಹ, ಈ ಶರೀರ ಅಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಈ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಅಭಿಮಾನವನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ವಯಂ ಸಿದ್ಧವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆಕಾಶ ತತ್ವದ ಹಾಗೆ ವಿಶಾಲವಾಗಿ, ಅನಂತವಾಗಿ, ನಿಗೂಢವಾಗಿ, ಅಳತೆಗೆ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆಕಾಶ ತತ್ವದ ತರಹ ಅಳತೆಗೆ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ತರ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೇವಲ ಮಿಥ್ಯಾ ಸ್ವರೂಪ. ಅದನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ಶರೀರವನ್ನ ನೀನು ನಾನು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀಯಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡು. ಜಹಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕು, ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕು, ನೀನು ಶರೀರ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ says here, so after rejecting the unreal, which is mithya, which is not real, the whole srishti, the whole creation, and also rejecting your sharira, your body made up of 5 sheets, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. Rejecting all these things, in other words, totally negate your body, your sthula sharira, your physical body, along with the mental antakarana complex, the mind, the buddhi and ahankara, ego, body with mind complex. Reject, because they are unreal, asat, asthulam. They are not really real. The sadvastu is not all these things. Reject all these things. They are vrushamatram idam pratitam. Jahihi means give up. Yat swatmataya grahitam. What you have thought that you are the body, give up that notion. Jahihi yat swatmataya grahitam. Vrushamatram idam pratitam. This body whom you think you are is only a mithya. It is like a dream. It is there, it will vanish. So it is unreal. You realize that your Atman is the real thing, which is unlimited, indeterminable, uncomprehendable, just like the sky. So that is the reality. That is what Acharya says here. Astholamityet asat nirasya siddham swato yomavat pratarkyam ato mrushamatramidam pratitam jahihi yat swatmataya grahitam. Assertively, Acharya is telling the Shishya, jahihi means give up the false notion that you are the body-mind complex. You means the real you are not the body-mind complex. Come out of that notion, that mithya notion. Vrushamatram idam pratitam. It is only a false implication. It is by great illusion you have identified all the time in so many births, previous birth and also now, that you are the body. You are that ego. Your mind, along with the ego and buddhi, dictates, which is not real at all. Vrushamatram, it is mithya, unreal. It is there, it will go away one day. Are you the body? Give up that notion. Jahihi means yat swatmataya grahitam. Give up that feeling. ನಾನು ದೇಹ, ಮನಸ್ಸು, ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು ಇಂಥವಳು, ಈ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ತೆಗೆದು ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ. ಜಹಿಹಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಅರ್ಥ. ಬಹಳ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಉತ್ಕಟತೆಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒತ್ತಿ ಒತ್ತಿ ಸದ್ಗುರು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಮಾತಿದು. ಜಹಿಹಿ, ಈ ಶಬ್ದದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೃಢವಾದ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಶಿಷ್ಯನಿಗೆ ರಕ್ಷಾ ಕವಚ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ನೀನು ಶರೀರ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಡಪ್ಪ. ನೀನು ಶರೀರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಅಹಂಕಾರವೂ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಯಾರು ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀನು ಆ ಪರಮ ಚೈತನ್ಯ, ಸಾಕ್ಷಾತ್ ಆ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು ಚೈತನ್ಯವೇ ನೀನು ಒಳಗಡೆ. ನೀನೇ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಸಮೀಕರಣ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಡ. ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒತ್ತಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. So Acharya is implied, is constantly hammering the point to the Uttama Adhikari. Look, don't be under the impression that you are the body anymore. Don't be under the impression that you are the body-mind complex. Remove that feeling, remove the notion. Now it's a Jahihi means very assertive, authoritative Adesha. a sort of a commandment given to Uttamadika by a Sadguru, who is a Brahmajna. You are that only. You are that Parama Chaitanya. You are that Parabrahma Swarupa. You have to remember all the time, all the time. For heaven's sake, don't think that you are the body, you are the mind, you are the ego. I am so and so. I am a man, I am a woman, I am a brahmachari, I am a married person, I am a young fellow, I am a old fellow, I am sukhi, I am dukhi, my health is very good, my health is not good. All these notions, sankalpa, vikalpa, pertain to your mind connected to the body. So you are not that psychosomatic apparatus anymore. This apparatus called the body has been derived, it has arrived during the birth from the mother's womb, and it will die one day and enter into the graveyard. Either it is burnt or cremated once for all. So, with assertion, with typical esteemed love, graceful look, with compassionate, merciful voice, Acharya is telling his Shishya, you have to go back to 1200 years before in the vast forest area on the bank of the river, under the tree shade, Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada sitting and teaching this Viveka Chudamani to his disciples. Please remember that. Please have that vision in the mind. You will understand these words are spoken not now, they are spoken 1200 years before. In the deep jungle on the bank of the river, under a tree, sitting quietly, Acharya is explaining with all reverence, smile, with compassion, with mercy, and with that beautiful glance towards the Shishya. We have to visualize. If you visualize, you will understand what Acharya is. If I can't visualize this, I will never understand what is this Viveka Chudamani. It is not for me. Sitting, listening for 5 minutes, I'll get away and walk away. I'll switch off the handset, I'll switch off the laptop. So Acharya says, next two lines are important. Brahmahamityeva vishuddha buddhya vidhi sumatmanam akanda bodham. Conclusion in this shloka. Brahmaham ityeva vishuddha buddhya vidhi swamatmanam akhanda bodham. Brahmaham iti eva vishuddha buddhya vidhi. Again, Acharya hammers the point. Vidhi means sariyagi artha madkolappa, tilkolappa. Aham Brahma iti eva vishuddha buddhya. Parishuddhvada buddhi ille, ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾದ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಸತ್ವಗುಣದ ಆಚೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಸತ್ವಗುಣದಿಂದ ಪ್ರೇರಿತವಾಗಿರೋ ಪರಿಪಕ್ವವಾದ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಪ್ಪ. ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧ ಕಲ್ಮಶರಹಿತ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ರಜೋಗುಣ ತಮೋಗುಣ ರಹಿತವಾಗಿರುವ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪರಿಶುದ್ಧವಾದ ಸತ್ವಗುಣದಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮನಸ್ಸು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋ. ವಿಧಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊ. ಏನು? ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಹಂ ಇತಿ ಏವ. ಅಹಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಇತಿ ಏವ. ನಾನು ಸ್ವತಃ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಸ್ತು, ಈಶ್ವರ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ವಿಧಿ ಸ್ವಮಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಅಖಂಡ ಬೋಧಂ. ನಾನು ನಿಜವಾದ ಅಖಂಡ ಬೋಧ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಚಿನ್ಮಾತ್ರ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ, ಆದಿ ಅಂತ್ಯಗಳೇ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆ ಸದ್ವಸ್ತು ನಾನೇ ಆಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಪ್ಪ ಶಿಷ್ಯ. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊ. ಇದು ಸೊ ದಿ ಪರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಹಂ ಇತ್ಯೇವ ವಿಶುದ್ಧ ಬುದ್ಧ್ಯ ವಿದ್ಧಿ ಸ್ವಮಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಅಖಂಡ ಬೋಧಂ. Again, Acharya concludes here. Viddhi means, assertively looking at the disciple, he says, Always Vidhi means understand correctly, experience this correctly, follow this correctly, listen attentively. Do the manana repeatedly on the statement what I am telling you. Brahmaham iti eva vishuddha buddhya vidhi. Vishuddha buddhya, with a purified mind, with a purified mind devoid of tamoguna and rajoguna. Go beyond the sattva guna with constant meditation, japa, whatever it is, penance. Purify your mind totally, your heart, and then understand. In that final stage of purity, you will understand. You must remember, you must know that Brahmaham iti, I am the Brahma Swarupa. I am that Brahma only. I am that Param Brahma only. I am that super consciousness. I am that cosmic consciousness. I am that Paramachaitana. I am not the body. I means I am that only. I am that only. So what is inside here is the pure consciousness. The same pure consciousness is pervading the entire universe in the form of Ishvara. The same consciousness is inside here. I am that only. I am not a separate entity. I am purely the same consciousness only. Akhanda bhava. Samatmanam akhanda bodham. So I am that only. I am that Ishvara only. I am that Parabrahma Vastu only. I am that Supreme Chetana only. Not at all this body, this mind, this buddhi, this intellect, and this ego. This is only confined to the body. So I am beyond the body-mind complex. Neither I am born, nor I will die. Neither I am the doer, nor I am the enjoyer. I am neither the bhokta, nor the karta. I am everywhere. I am akhanda. Brahmaham. I am akhanda vastu. No parts and no compartments. Avayava rahita nishkala nirankara niranjana nitya buddha shuddha muktatma aham. So this feeling should be there in you. That's what Acharya is hinting. Brahmaham ityeva vishuddha buddhya vidhi. Vidhi means understand. Samatmanam akhanda bodham. So with Guru Sankalpa, stop here. Sri Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. 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 Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vira.
Hari Om, sir. Thank you so much. It was so engrossing. We don't know how 1 hour goes away. Thank you so much for that, sir. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.